Okay, friends. Today we are going to be going over our math quiz. So, if you have your piece of paper, I need you to go get it. If you have your PDF, I need you to screenshot it or write down your answers where you can grade it right along with me, okay? There were some mistakes that I saw made on the quiz, which is fine because we're all learning something new. So we are going to kind of review and go over those mistakes, okay? So during this time, you are watching how I am doing it, and you will be grading it. If you get it correctly, you can give yourself a little star like this, or a smiley face, whatever you want to do. So the first one, find 94 minus 67. So I'm going to show two different strategies. I'm going to show the number line and then also the stacking strategy. So 94 minus 67. All right. When I do my stacking strategy, I'm always going to start with my ones, which is this one. So do I have more on top or more on the floor? I have more on the floor, so I need to go next door. So when I go next door and borrow, my 9 becomes an 8. A lot of my friends that are doing this strategy, you're just forgetting to cross out that 9. Since we're borrowing, we're taking a group of 10 away, and our 10 is right there. So we have 14 minus 7 equals 7. We have 8 minus 6, which equals 2. So your answer should be B. So if you got B, you can give yourself a star. If you did not, and you're like, Miss Luby, I don't use that strategy, well, let's look at it over here. So we have 67, and we're going to end up with 94. All right. The closest 10 to 67 going up is 70. So I'm going to make my first jump. 67, 68, 69, 70. So that takes 3 jumps. I'm going to now count by tens until I can get as close as I can to 94. I can't go over 94. So 70, 80, 90. So that took me 2 tens, which is the same thing as 20. And then I make my last jump from 90 to 94, and that's 4. So if I add all those numbers together, 20 plus 3 plus 4, I'm going to start with my ones, and I have 3 plus 4 equals 7, 2 plus 0 equals 2. I still got 27. All right. This next question, friends, is the one that confused my friends the most, okay? So I'm going to zoom in on it so we can really focus on it, okay? It says, Jessica draws the model below to solve a problem. What problem does she solve? Complete your subtraction equations. Write your answers in the blocks. Okay. So the first thing we need to think of is our arrows going back, or are they going forward? Are they going this way, or are they going that way? They are going this way. So we need to figure out first which way our arrows are going, because that tells us what number we're going to start with. So we started at 95. So you should have 95 right here. And then we're subtracting. We do not know, friends, how much we're subtracting yet. So we need to count all of our jumps first. So 95 to 90. How many jumps does it take to get to 95 to go back to 90? It took 5 jumps. Oops. I'm going to do my pencil. It took 5 jumps. Then we have 90, and we need to get to 60. So we're going to lock in 90. We're going to jump back by 10. So lock in 90, 90, 80, 70, 60. It took 3 jumps of 10. 3 tens is the same thing as saying 30. And then our last one is from 60 to 59. And that's just 1 jump. So to find this number, friends, we have to add all of those 3 numbers up. So we have 30 plus 5 plus 1. So now we're going to add our ones together. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 0 is 3. So 36 now goes in this one. How do we get 36? We need to figure out how many we're taking away from 95. So if you did 95 minus 36, you would get 59. And our last result is 59. Now, friends, you can switch these two up. Because of our fact family, you can do 95 minus 59 equals 36. We know we start with 95. We know we end with 59. So how many jumps did we take? We took 36. So for this one, you can get either this answer, 1, or you can get 2. Either is okay. All right? So that is how we did our second problem. We're going to kind of go up to number 3 now. Remember, if this video is ever going too fast or you need me to go back, you can always pause it, rewind. It is up to you. All right, your next one, it says, George has 64 baseball cards. He gives 28 of them to his brother. How many cards does George have now? Show 2 ways to find 64 minus 28. So we have 64 baseball cards. I'm going to circle that one. He gives 28 of them away. We know we're solving that. But friends, we have to pay super close attention to this sentence. Show two ways to find 64 minus 28. All right? I remember some friends, I think maybe 3 or 4, followed that direction and did 2 ways. Others just showed me 1. I'm glad you can show me 1 way, but that's the reason why we learn multiple strategies, so you can really understand it. So let's do our number line strategy for the first one. Let's count up. So when we count up, we're going to start with 28, and we're going to end with 64. 28 is our smaller number, 64 is our larger number. So 28, the nearest 10 to 28 is 30. So how many jumps does it take? It takes 2 jumps to get to 30. Now we have to see how many jumps does it take to get as close as we can to 64. So let's see, 30, 40, 50, 60. I can't go over 64, so it took me 3 tens, which is the same thing as saying 30, and we got to 60. Then we have one little jump of 4. We're not finished yet. We have to add now these 3 numbers. So we have 30 plus 4 plus 2. It's 4 plus 2. I'm going to start with my ones. I have 6. And 3 plus 0 equals 3. So we have 36 as an answer. Am I finished yet? No way, Jose. I am not finished because my sentence tells me to show 2 ways. This was my first way. This is going to be my second way, okay? So I'm going to stack this one. 64 minus 28. I'm going to start with my ones. Do I have more on top or more on the floor? I have more on the floor, so I am going to need to go next door and borrow some more. My 6 becomes a 5 because I am taking a group of 10 away. I'm adding 10 to our ones. When I add a 10 to our ones, my number becomes 14 minus 8. 14 minus 8 equals 6. And 5 minus 2 equals 3. I got my same answer, 36. So there's my second way of solving that problem. Alrighty, our last 2 questions. So this one in particular, it says Alex adds up to find 47 minus 17. Finish Alex's work to find the difference. Write your answers in the blank. So friends, for us to understand what Alex is doing, this format right here may look a little confusing. You're like, Miss Luby, we did not learn it this way. And you're right. We learned it on a number line. But friends, it's the same concept. They start with 17. And they decided to add 10 first. I know that they added 10 first because there's a 7 right here and there's a 7 right here. My ones stay the same, but my 10s are changing. So how did they get from 17 to 37? They made a really big jump of how many? Well, 17, 27, 37. They did 2 jumps of 10 because they counted by 10. So 17, 27, 37. So they did 20 jumps. This is just like our number line. Then they landed at 37. It says right here that their next step was to jump to 40. So how many did it take for them to get to 40? How many jumps did it take? It took 3 jumps because we have 37, 38, 39, 40. So that's where our 3 comes from. Now, our final number, we know that 45 is the number we're going to end at. So 40 plus 45. Or not plus 45. 40, and we're jumping to 45. So how many does it take to jump to 45? It takes 5 jumps. So there's my 5. To find this number, friends, we have to add all these 3 up. So we have 20 plus 3 plus 5. So we're going to start with our 1s. 3 plus 5 equals 8. 2 plus 0 equals 2. Your answer is 28. Your answer is 28. So that is how we solve those answers. So you friends need to make sure you have a 20 here. Oops. You need to make sure you have 20 there, a 3 there, a 5 there, and a 28. If you did, give yourself a star. If not, go ahead and correct your mistake. And then that brings us to our last question. It says, Vivian says that the difference of 63 and 27 is 37. So she's saying 63 minus 27 equals 37. That is what she is saying. I'm going to kind of block that out right there. Okay? Her work is shown below. So this is Vivian's work that she did, okay? Her teacher says her answer is not correct. What should Vivian do to fix her work? So to fix her work, friends, we need to go back and we need to solve what did she do wrong? What was her mistake? So let's look. I'm going to erase some of this so we can stay focused. Okay. So we have 63. If we jump back from 63, we get 60. So we jumped back. So that 3 is correct, right? We take 3 away from 63, we get 60. Okay, no error there. Next, we're at 60 and we need to get to 40. It's saying she counted backwards by 10 2 times because 2 10s equals 20. So 60, 50, 40. There's 2 10s, so that is correct. So check, check. That's correct. All right, now I'm at 40 and I need to get to 37. 39, 38, 37. I know that took me 3 jumps. So all of her jumps are correct. So where is her mistake? Well, friends, what do we have to do? After we get all of our jumps together, we have to add up all of our jumps. So if we add up all of our jumps, we have 20 plus 3 plus 3. 20 plus 3 plus 3, we have 3 plus 3 equals 6, and 2 plus 0 equals 2. We have 26. So up here it says, she says her answer should be 63 minus 27 equals 37. Well, when we did the math, that 26 should be a 27, right, friends? Yep, so we just found her mistake. So how are we going to solve that mistake? What should Vivian do to fix her work? Vivian needs to add all her jumps again. So we were able to catch Vivian's mistake based on us working through the problem. We went back and she did all of her math right. She did the correct number of jumps. She just made a little error when she was adding 20 plus 3 plus 3. So how can we tell Vivian to fix her work? Well, I would tell Vivian as her teacher to say, Vivian, why don't you go back and you need to add up all your jumps again. Double check that. So that is how we are going to solve that. So friends, now we have graded our quiz, okay? So that is the first thing that you guys that you did for me. Make sure that you have all those answers. I want to make sure that you guys are following along with me so you guys are able to see why these answers were different. Typically, I just make your mistakes on your quiz or correct them on your quiz, but today so many people made different mistakes. I wanted to go through it with you, okay? So, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to start our work in our workbook, and that'll be the next video over.